And we're live. Welcome to Simon no茶の間, Simon's living room. This is my real living room. I have moved all my equipment downstairs, and I have a river in the background, the Kamo River, no less. And I have a guest who has consumed some ice cream already, and we're about to crack open our beers. But I'd like to introduce a guest. He's been here before, and he comes again. Oh, I'm obviously popular. This is XenoLiving, otherwise known as Shane. Hello, Shane.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, do apologize. I got just a bit peckish, and this is kind of bad form, but I'm gonna go get my other ice cream out of the fridge.
Well, I shall be getting my ice cream later. I hope, Maya, that you have your beer and ice cream ready. And thank you for joining us. I shall now open my beer, which is an Abbey beer brewed by monks because they've got nothing better to do.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's famous for Abbey for Abbey beers, Trappist beers in Belgium. There's all these monks devoting their lives to God and beer.
Not a bad life. And then I have
Smells beer-like.
Japan Tail Ale from Bar to Beer. So I got a story with this, which is my wife likes to Oi! Hello. Oh. No. Okay,
oh dear, needs a cloth. Meanwhile,
I literally just bought this keyboard because I spilled water on the old one.
And now you spilt beer. Oh dear, this is the end of the. This could be the end of the broadcast.
Yep. Nope. I just need a couple keyboards. Just send them in bulk because I can't be trusted at my desk. Oh wow, that's a
Kampai. Oh.
All right,
yeah, she'll be sat there for months now, sort of with the stinky keyboard.
It's incredibly opaque. There's no head on it.
Well, it did say, when you read the description, it did say it's alive and evolving.
Yeah, look at this. It's like orange juice with how opaque it is. So this will be interesting.
Okay, Kampai.
Kampai. Well, now there's beer all over all of my notes for today.
Oh, you had notes. Oh, God.
Well, I was watching the videos or something. But
that's
back to the story. So my wife, she partakes in the Reddit Secret Santa, and she's been doing it for 3 years now. And basically, you send a gift to a random person on the internet, and a different random person sends one to you. Well, for the past 2 years, she's gotten stiffed, which means that she was paired with someone who was guaranteed to get her a gift this year. And she listed all of her hobbies, and she got in the mail a case of beer, and she hates beer. So she got stiffed for 2 years, and then on the 3rd year, she got a case of something she hates. And it's an expensive case. I was just telling Simon, these are it was $50. It's $50 a case for a 6-pack. And
wow. Oh, so you didn't actually buy them. So I see. Yeah. Oh, I don't feel so guilty now.
Yeah, but I will drink them. So thank you, Reddit Secret Santa.
Good things can come from the internet.
We're done with the spilling. No more spilling.
I should just explain to our 3 viewers, who could be you, me, and Maya.
Probably.
That last month, I was obviously in Japan last month, and I went to this place, as is my wont. I usually go to Kyoto. I say usually. I mean, in the past 3 times that I've been to Japan, I've made a stop in Kyoto, and this time I arranged to meet up with Shane, and we went for some rather delicious ramen, which we didn't know was going to be delicious, but it turned out to be. In Pontocho, I shall just go and you probably know what Pontocho looks like, Maya. But for those who don't, who are watching after the fact, this is basically what Pontocho looks like when you're walking down it. It's a very narrow street, very sort of traditional narrow street in Kyoto. It gets narrower. There's little side streets that go off where you can't even stretch your arms out either side, and there's shop entrances down there as well. But we went down the main thoroughfare and to a shop recommended by one of your friends, I believe, Shane.
Yep.
Hello. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like he's recovering from the beer. So yes, and there was a rather nice shop down here. We found it and went in and just randomly ordered whatever was first on the menu, and it turned out to be rather good. And then decided that okay, that was good. Now what do? We didn't stay for dessert. We went off in search of dessert. And on my first visit to Kyoto a couple of years ago, I'd done this walk down this street looking for somewhere to eat and chickened out and gone to a konbini and bought myself a bento and a beer and a dessert. So I thought, oh, well, we could do that again. We could just go and get some dessert from a bento. So that's where the idea of the beer and the ice cream came from, because that's what we did. And then we went to the Kamo River and sat down there and drank our beers until our minds were attuned. and we started to talk philosophy.
I had to worry about the last train.
Yes. Maya says she doesn't know Pontocho. You should go, Maya. If you get a chance to go to Kyoto, you go to Gion, and you go to Pontocho and Higashiyama. Very good places. Very sort of like it's basically the essence of Kyoto in a nutshell. Don't know, there's no particular time of day, although Pontocho at night is when it comes alive. Pontocho during the day is basically an alleyway full of closed restaurants. So, but it has its own particular charm. But
Simon,
anyway,
you're really good with directions. When I tell people how to get there, I'm like, yeah, just get off at Sanjo and cross the bridge and turn when you get to the shady bit, and then where it gets really packed, just go in there, and that's where the restaurants are. And then I get people calling me up like, yeah, we couldn't find that place, so I went somewhere else. I'm like, all right.
Oh, we did find it. I mean, you had a I think you had a picture. Did you have a picture on your phone?
Yeah, I had it started on Google Maps, and it was like a block away when I decided to look it up. So that was really fortuitous.
Maya's friend Anna has been there many times. Oh well, you should get her to take you, and oh, you should do a video even. I mean, here's me talking. You should do a video. I was there with Shane and didn't once get my camera out at all. We could have done a really good YouTube video, but we'll get onto that onto YouTube and things later. But yes, we loosened our faculties with a bit of beer, which is what I'm hoping to do now, and got on to discussing matters of philosophical nature, which I have just done after breakfast now as research for the show. And one of the things I looked up was Boethius's Consolation of Philosophy, which is not easy to say after some beer. But could you explain who Boethius is? Because I can't be bothered.
Yeah, sure. I can't exactly remember his name, but he was a philosopher back some time ago. This is giving you a really, really brief.
This is like your directions.
was a presumably white man sometime a while ago, in service to his country's government in an advisory role, I believe, who experienced a lot of good fortune until one day that fortune ran out, and he was abruptly imprisoned by a ever more paranoid ruler. And while he was in prison, he did not go crazy, but instead started seeing people in his room. Mainly just the person who he identified as the ancient woman of fortune from, I believe, Greek and Roman studies, the goddess Fortuna. And she talked to him and kind of made fun of him for feeling sorry for himself, saying that fortune comes and fortune goes, and you've been talking about this your whole life, and now you're moping. So, like, what the hell? And he kind of compiled all of his knowledge into a book with his new unexpected take from his cell. That's why I got out of the video.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It was this, yes, a sixth century sort of wealthy gentleman whose fortunes were on the rise and on the rise and on the rise, and he became advisor to the paranoid king, as Shane said. And the paranoid king then promptly thought that this Boethius character had plotted against him, arrested him, and threw him in prison. And eventually executed him. But before he did, Boethius managed to write this book, The Consolation of Philosophy, which basically explains about you should not become too attached to the trappings of good fortune, and should be constantly aware that at any given moment, these may be removed from you, and therefore you need to find some way to establish like a core of happiness that is not assailable by fortune, which is a very wordy way of saying, just, love yourself. You're back from Starbucks coffee, ready for the show. Yes, I miss. Hello, Englandese. Yes, just as a side note, raspberry and pistachio frappuccino. Yes, it was not yours. Okay, you're a coffee man. Okay, that's very good. But anyway, so yes, you had the good fortune of joining this show. But at any given moment, due to technical difficulties, it could be removed, and you should then go on.
So you just gotta enjoy what you got.
Yeah.
Just be happy and happy with it all.
But I mean, audience. I mean, how do you feel? I mean, have anybody in the audience experienced something similar? Not being put in prison by a paranoid king, but where you've had to take a more philosophical look at life. And answers in the hello, Mashu Rena. It could be Rena. It could be Mashu. It could be from Australia where it's very hot, or it could be from Tokyo where it's quite cold. But changes in fortune. Yes, you've had some changes in fortune, Mashu Rena. And have you been philosophical about them? This is the question. I mean, it's happened to us. I suppose it's happened to you, Shane. It's happened to me.
Many a time.
And what was the other video I was watching about? Or was it also in that video where you basically got to go with the flow kind of thing? The wheel fortune goes up and it goes down.
Well, yeah. Let's pause on this first video for a second. Something that I thought interesting was that this comes up every now and again. And you're seeing kind of so what interested me was that he was fascinated with ancient Greek and Roman Stoic philosophy, and you're starting to see this new you're starting to see this come up again in popular culture. A very popular author, Tim Ferriss, spearheaded some audiobooks to bring back. some of the letters written by the Stoic philosophers, and kind of bring that into more of a mainstream role. And it feels to me that kind of it's something that comes around every now and again, where people will go back to the Greek and Romans, and it will kind of take a more center stage and become a little bit more pop culture, at least for a little bit.
Oh yes, amongst the videos I was watching, there was the eternal question of, you know, where do people seek solace in philosophy? I mean, quite a lot of them would turn to Eastern philosophy, because that's more to do with finding a personal approach to your life, and whereas Western philosophy quite often gets bogged down in language and in semantics and in all that kind of thing, and study, and is not popular. It's not, you know, it doesn't provide solace in, but as you say, there's this now pop culture thing towards Stoicism,
and kind of jiving with what he was saying regarding the way that fortune comes and goes. There was a thought experiment where you would live as a homeless person for a day. I can't remember for the life of me how often it was, but you would live as a homeless person for a day just to experience that you can get by, and that kind of like your worst fears are really doable if you actually sit down and experience them. Which, when I was a younger person without means, it was at least a little bit comforting to hear that it's something that I could bounce back from.
Yes, I mean, that being said, I mean, if you're voluntarily being a homeless person and you experience temporary, but you've got always in the back of your mind, oh, like, well, tomorrow it all goes back to normal. But I mean,
yeah,
we're depressing people. We're losing viewers.
Oh no.
They're all going, oh my God, no. But yeah, I mean, to what extent would that could that be a valid feeling? I mean, not to disparage your experience, but I mean, if you know in the back of your mind that yes, tomorrow I'm going to go back to my nice comfy sofa in my nice apartment, it's all okay. But if that didn't happen, if for some reason fortune's wheel went down, and you stayed homeless, you did your homeless bit, and while you were away being homeless, your house burnt down. Would you sort of snap back the next day and think, oh well, all right? There was one of those videos about I can't remember the philosopher, some Greek philosopher who had been preaching all this sort of stuff, and then was told that all his possessions had been lost at sea in a storm. Okay, I should be more of a lightweight philosopher now. He said, but I mean,
like what else do you do? I remember when I moved, I was living in the Midwest, and that was my first time really being employed and having a steady paycheck, and I built myself a nice apartment and everything. And then, but I was stuck in, well, I don't know if you've ever been to the American Midwest, but we had about
it's not on my list.
Yeah, it's not on anyone's usually. But so I couldn't wait to get back home. And I thought, once I make enough money, I'm going to go back home. And so I was unable to sell my stuff because there was no one there. So I just had to leave it all behind. And I came to California, drove. Yeah, we raced the tornado on the way to the airport. That was fun. But I came back to California with nearly no money to my name and no possessions. And I went from having my own house, well, not owning, but at least renting for several years, and the comforts of that, to sleeping on a futon in a improvised bedroom that was clearly illegal. And And then, of course, there's coming to Japan too, because you can really bring like nothing with you.
Yes, that's true. Yes, I mean, one of my changes in fortune would have been, or was, sort of my intention to possibly become involved with a lady in Japan, and that would have entailed giving up what I have here, and you know, I can't bring any of this with me. I would have had to.
It's an impressive bookcase. I would miss that.
Ah, oh yeah, I've got yes. Well, I've got it's a combination of art, history, philosophy, and yoga, and Monty Python.
And about each one of those boxes is about $50 to ship to Japan.
Yeah. This is it. I mean, I would have had to find higher storage space or something. So, but that problem, due to the Wheel of Fortune, is no longer sort of a concern. But yeah, it could be a future concern if I ever do decide to. This is my actual living room. Yes, that's
Simon's actual living room.
There's actual living room. There's no green screens involved. The green screens, and you know, there's plant, glass bricks.
That's nice.
That's where the monitor used to stand, but I moved it to this table. Yeah.
Also, everyone, welcome to my actual living room. We got a Christmas tree. Yep.
Oh, yeah. My Christmas tree's around the corner. You can't see it.
And that's really about all the view you got, because I figured that, you know, the camera only shows so much, so I just hid all the junk outside the frame.
Yeah, the paint color came with the apartment, Ty. So I went to IKEA and bought matching furniture about 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yes, I mean, speaking of fortune, it was a good fortune to find this place. Yeah, so you know, giving it up would be like, kind of.
Yeah,
what
I
else
feel that way.
What else? Oh, hang on. Is it? So who is the guest today? What is his job? Where does he live? Ty, this is Shane. Shane, Ty. You're both American. Ty, where? I can't. Is it Oregon? You're from, Ty? I can't. Oh, sorry, can't remember. But anyway, it's somewhere where there's lots of trees. And paintballing or airsoft or something like that. But anyway, yes, Shane has been as kind enough to join again. This beer's getting to me, and he teaches in Japan. Both American, LOL. Well, yes. You're American, Maya, so I mean, you know, most of my viewers are American. But yes, if you want to find out more about Shane, go to our previous one, which was what was it? What was that Japanese title that I gave it? Sort of bird, water, air, something. It's very obscure.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. Yes, go into my into my list of videos, and it's the one with the. You'll see his face anyway, and you'll recognize him. Flint, Michigan. There we go. He's from Flint in Michigan. That's right. Yes, where were we? Yes, the Wheel of Fortune. But then there's also what was the other one I showed? Remind me. I can't remember. What was the second video?
Oh, what's the purpose of philosophy?
Yes, that's right. What's the purpose of it? I mean, but our audience is wondering that at this very moment.
Purpose of philosophy is when you're drunk, you get something to talk about.
That's true. Yeah, so it all starts to flow. And then the trouble is when you combine beer and philosophy, so the next day you don't remember what the hell you were talking about. It's all been a waste of time. But no, yeah, the purpose of philosophy is basically is to not get basically bogged down and trapped in that wheel of fortune. You know, the big questions are always there, and yes, trying to answer them does not put, unless you're a professional philosopher, does not put food in your belly and money in the bank or anything like that. So there tends to be an avoidance of asking those big questions, although they're always there at the back of your mind. But philosophy should also be like I was saying before. There's people who go to the East to seek solace in philosophy, doing all the yoga. I mean, I can speak personally for that. I've done that. Did yoga for 4 years. It's people are looking for answers to those big questions, and owing to circumstances in your life, you may be more wanting to find those answers, and that's where philosophy comes in. The study of the fundamental knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. Who's been going on Wikipedia then? Hi, Tomo-san.
Hey.
Isashiburi.
Simon, I can't disagree with you more.
Okay. That's good. This is where dialectic. It's a thesis, an antithesis, and by the end of the show, we'll have a synthesis. Oh, there we go. Carry on.
Well, mainly with the first part, because you say that it doesn't put put food on the table, and I'd argue that philosophy is having a ship with a rudder on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you can consider what you want in life, you're able to draw the shortest path there, as opposed to just kind of going and hoping that you get to someplace nice.
But I mean, is that not? I mean, yes, but that's okay. You've got a rudder, but the Fortuna, the goddess of fortune, is depicted as having a cornucopia, which is all like a horn full of the horn of plenty, giving you all the sort of like good things, and a rudder. She has a rudder, and that rudder is for steering your direction, and she can steer you to also to disaster or seeming disaster, where you lose all those things of plenty. So then you're being philosophical when you're going with the flow, kind of think, okay, something is bad is happening. I'm not achieving what I'm setting out to achieve, but on the other hand, whatever, I can bounce back, like you say. So
yeah.
To what extent? I mean, it sounds like like philosophy is like making notes to plan instead of just like going with the flow in the way you were describing it. When you were saying you disagree.
That if you're putting your happiness in, as they mentioned, love and fortune, those things can come and go and be unreliable. Or if you put it in something, say like knowledge, that's something that's accumulated over time. And if it is stripped from you, you wouldn't know it anymore because you don't have that knowledge.
I just gained some knowledge. Tomo is in the bath and the Wi-Fi connection is bad. Okay, Tomo, yes, Tomo in over in Shikoku. So, well, I'm very glad that this show is even being watched in the bath. I mean, Tomo may well have a eureka moment. There we are. There's a bit of Greek philosophy. This show will not be done from the bath. I can rest assured. You shall never see me.
Is that the next arc?
Next year, maybe. Season 2.
Simon's bathroom.
I don't know what that is in Japanese, but yeah. Is it time for ice cream?
So you might have missed this, but I held it up and I was eating my ice cream. And cookie ice sand is what I'm eating today. Yeah, you missed it, Simon.
Did you put did you put the others back in the fridge, or did you eat them all?
I did. I put them back in the fridge, and then I went and got them, and then I ate them.
So it's not left. You have no ice cream left. So I have to go and get my ice cream. I mean, just for consistency. For this, excuse me.
I do apologize for the bad form. Simon, wait, real quick. Number 1 through 5.
Pardon? 4.
4. Okay. I'm also going to grab one more beer, and I will grab the 4th beer that I see. So I too will run to the fridge.
Excuse us, audience. I mean, you may also do this. Excuse me. If you've brought beer and ice cream, yeah.
There we are. Hello, audience. Hey. Hey, Frederick. No problem at all. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. All right. Exactly.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Right.
There we go.
You don't have as far to go to your kitchen.
Yeah. Kitchen and the living room are connected. All right.
Hey,
this time, I'm going to scoot back as I open this. Oh, I guess I should say we have a rose ale. That'll be fun.
Oh, it was a crate of various beers from this particular brewery. I see.
Yeah, it was a big sample pack. This does not have ume in it. Let's see how it goes.
Oh, this is a rather strange point. This is double caramel. So, I mean, excuse me.
Ooh. So is that a Belgian ice cream? Like a Belgian brand?
Belgian brand, Belgian supermarket owned brand ice cream. No expense spared.
Very nice.
I'll go back to the Kamo River.
All right.
I have had boob ice cream. I've had boob ice cream. And
boob ice cream.
Boob ice cream. It's not what you think. Okay. It's like well, it's ice cream in a condom.
What else can it be?
But still. Oh, we're drifting from the point here.
What do you want to? Would you like to speak on the philosophy of boob ice cream?
The philosophy of boob ice cream is you bite the nipple off and suck.
Something a little more.
Boob ice cream. Yes,
ice cream.
Maya. It's a Japanese thing. It's basically it's like a balloon, and they fill it with ice cream, and you cut the nipple off, and then you suck the ice cream through the balloon, and then at a certain point, the warmth of your hand and the action of you sucking the ice cream, at first it's a small flow. And then all of a sudden, the ice cream shoots out of this condom into your mouth. it's just something you. I'll have photographs.
This is certainly an interesting experience. I will have to try it.
I'm not quite sure what it's called in Japanese. You would have to have your Japanese friends. Well, it looks like a condom. It's a small balloon, white, filled with ice cream. I've had it twice now. both times in an izakaya in Shinjuku with friends. We were all eating boob ice cream. Frederick says he thinks you should open an Urban Dictionary. Well, I've described it perfectly well enough. This is what happens. This is what beer and philosophy do.
Leads to boob ice cream.
So where were we?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Oppai ice. That's it. Oppai ice.
So pretty much literally boob ice cream. Yeah, so I was just looking at my notes. Hey, go ahead, Simon.
Well, I was going to say, one of the things that their personal search and use of philosophy, or the personal, going to the East for the more esoteric, yoga-based and Buddhist-based philosophies, is that search for the personal, search for identity, and the dichotomy between us as perceived by you, the viewer, or the other person, and your own personal identity within. The difference between who you believe yourself to be as a person and who others perceive you as. So the mind, the body, your body as presented to the world, to other people, via your face mostly, and your appearance, and who you actually feel yourself to be. And certainly for us on YouTube and on social media, this can be two completely different things.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I always feel like
after this show, after we switch off here, we will completely get changed and we'll be completely different people.
Oh yeah, I just
Is our soul our spirit? First, you have to believe that there is a soul
and the spirit,
and whether a spirit is the same thing. That's a whole other question. Your personal identity self, who you are, is not at any given time something that exists in a fixed state or exists at all. It's a collection of memories, experiences, which will evaporate or may evaporate on the demise of your body.
Yeah, and also it was, who was it? I was watching a TED Talk recently about, and they were saying that essentially that you die every night, kind of that your brain shifts and changes, and essentially you're not exactly the same person that you were yesterday. And so you're kind of
luckily.
Electrical energy. I mean, yeah, that's where I'm at. That's always been a question that, as long as I'm not concerned about kind of judgment, that it's interesting to ponder, but that one's never been too. It's more awesome than helpful.
Yes, I mean, if you consider the fact that, with the exception of a handful of brain cells and possibly some fingernails, every cell in your body dies regularly and is replaced, and you are not the person you were born as, because you're constantly the cells in your body are constantly dying, being created, and dying, and being created, and dying, being created, and so that this you're not you're a work in progress, as it were, until you stop, so that you're not the same person. And those brain cells are the ones that sort of preserve your memories, which is what your identity ultimately is. So there's that. I mean, you could say that that is you, but for the most part, everything else disappears. Like you say, you go to sleep at night, and there's a reboot, and uses like the sort of like the like the core memory as a basis. God Almighty.
There was something I think was interesting is a point that was brought up in a book by Ryan Holiday, kind of going back to the philosophy of Benjamin Franklin, which is that kind of the self is a little bit overrated. Kind of how you perceive yourself and your current abilities is usually very far from what you could be, and you're essentially you have so much to learn if as long as you think what you know already is kind of very low level, and accept that you're not very good at things yet.
Yes, I mean, and that's education.
I mean, yeah, basically. Though, as they say in school, one should always strive to be a lifelong learner, if you can.
This does mean, of course, that the test that I've managed to avoid since returning from Japan, my Japanese test, I shall have to do it next week.
And I just want you to know that if you fail, you're no less of a person.
That's true. I mean, yes. I mean, just as long as you're happy with your inner self. Ty says, "Do you think humans can heal their own bodies with positive energy?" To a certain degree. To a certain degree.
Yes and no.
Yeah, I mean,
yes
you can. Yeah, you can. If you just in pure materialistic terms, if you have a lower amount of particular hormone that gives you that makes you feel good, can't remember, dopamine or something like that, then your immune system doesn't work as efficiently. So if you think positively and good things happen and so on, and your dopamine levels go up, your immune system works better.
And then additionally, like placebos have been shown to be effective.
Yes, I mean, placebo, obviously is basically in its own right has no effect. It's a sugar pill, and you tell somebody that this is got some active ingredients that will do this, that, and the other, and they believe it, and their mind believes it, and this has then some effect on improving their body. So the mind and the body are connected in the sense that without a body there can be no mind. Whether the opposite is true, whether you can have a body and no mind,
I think that's the destination for itself.
Yes, I mean, there we are. So as I stare at my smartphone every day.
But I think the curing cancer is probably a little bit much. But I certainly know that you can go the opposite way. If you have high blood pressure due to stress, that can take a toll on you physically. And so mainly like the avoidance of doing really negative things for your body, like being stressed and drinking beer, Those are avoidable.
Yes, I'm going to have to avoid this second can of beer because shortly after this I may have to go and drive. So it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. I didn't know you would be driving. I would have encouraged you to avoid the first one.
Well, I have a good hour. And I have line in my stomach, so I'm all right.
If you told me you have a good 4 hours, I'd be more comfortable.
Oh my God! No, well, it's only like 10 minutes down the road.
Don't let me hear about you in the news, Simon.
Okay, the Wheel of Fortune, Simon no茶の間.
Simon, you're breaking my heart.
So for the audience that are still with us, what are your views on philosophy? What is philosophy? I mean, quite apart from beer and ice cream, what does philosophy do for you? Does it do anything? Do you consider these things? Do these things in the quiet moments during your day? Does this come to you, or is it something you kind of think, one day I'll think about that? Now waits for a response. I mean, I don't know about Shane, but I've been kind of like philosophically inclined from about 15, and it has helped, but it's also been a kind of a hindrance in that you overthink things, I think, and you don't get on and do stuff. Hey, Natalie. Joe Rogan podcast interviewing Dr. Andrew Weil. I'm afraid I interview no doctors so far. Unless they like beer and ice cream, then. But yes, an audience, I mean, on a day-to-day basis, or even on a yearly basis, to what extent do matters of a philosophical nature impinge on you? Ty says he's always open to new ideas, so philosophical thoughts are always on your mind. How about you, Maya and Natalie? It's just like, I took a class of philosophy and they really did talk about boobs. Okay. Yes, I could. Yes, an anthropological, sort of part of the class. Yes, philosophy helps your mind. Yes, it does. It does. It helps you get through those bad moments, those days at work where you think, "Oh my God." Oh no, but it's going to. It's all part of the grand scheme of things. Or when things don't turn out as you quite expected, or you lose things, or you lose friends, or regain friends, and that kind of thing. Swings and roundabouts. Scott also, we're waiting now for the audience to respond, of course. We should. I mean, it would cause like Google Hangouts to have a hissy fit, but it would be nice to have people on and we could just talk instead of waiting for responses. Yeah, we used to do that on 3 Old Dudes, but it got chaotic.
Yeah, thankfully we're just two dudes for tonight.
I don't know who's this. Oh, that's Kiki. Cool. Okay, thanks, Kiki.
I think that probably my earliest memory was a quote from an old anime movie where the character one says to another, she goes, "Why are you so stupid? You're always asking questions." And he says back, he goes, "Asking questions isn't stupid. That's how you get less stupid." And I was like, "Huh, I should ask more questions."
Yeah, but they question, yes, but you have to ask them to the right people, or to yourself, or to the universe. Don't don't. You know, if you ask them to the universe, it could take a while to get an answer.
I'll make one correction on earlier you said that I was an English teacher, which is not true, but I do appreciate it. Yeah, my wife is an English teacher. I am a project manager for a software, and so it's my job to ask questions. And
all right. I mean, I mean, yes, your wife and yourself look completely different. I mean, outward experience.
We are now blonde. We're both blonde now. Now, when I find a hair in the sink, I wonder whose it is.
Well, that's it. There you are. There's your body losing part of itself every day.
Yeah, it's weird. It's trippy to think about. Yeah, Steamboy was the movie. It's really good.
I mean, one of the reasons I do not dust frequently, apart from being utterly lazy, is dust consists of almost entirely human skin, which is mine. So yeah. I'm quite fond.
Oh, thank you, Ty. I appreciate that. And so you don't like to dust away the old Simon?
Yes, the old Simon. The old Simon gets. I shall probably, before I go to England next week, I shall have a quick hoover and dust, and then the old Simon will end up in the bin.
Well, I have a long-haired dog, so most of the time I'm just picking up the old dog.
Yes, animals have it easy, don't they? Really. I mean, if there was such a thing as reincarnation, you know, I would quite like to come back as a feral cat. I say feral cat because I don't want my ovaries chopped or my balls cut off, particularly. So, and a cat's life looks great, you know, like 90% sleeping, and then you know.
That would be a first. I've never heard someone who wanted to come back as a feral cat. But
well, yeah, I mean, I know. At my age, sleeping is a bonus. Yeah, I enjoyed sleeping. I mean, like you say, you regenerate. You become, you know, every time somebody goes to bed, they become Doctor Who. They wake up regenerated.
Yeah, and sleep is the time where your brain takes your recent memories and converts them into long-term memories, which is why I no longer hate sleep, because I used to hate sleep, but now I see the purpose of it.
Yeah. I thought it was just for rest, you know, and recuperation and just switching off, which is good. I mean, you know, when the world is assailing you with information and your brain is racing, you know, with philosophical ideas, yeah, it's good just to sort of switch off, basically, you know. And what the weird thing is, you know, you switch off and you wake up and you're still there.
Yeah, that is weird. I'll never wrap my head around that. Every now and then, you know, part of me, like, I get into the whole the human animal and, you know, electrons in the brain, and then I look around and I'm like, oh yeah, but then there's everything that like exists, and yeah, it's just kind of weird to wrap your head around that we exist at all compared to everything else on Earth.
Well, yeah, that we are in well, only in the sense that yeah, we appear, or as far as we are aware, we're the ones that are self-aware, and everything else just exists, which is either very good or a cruel trick. You know, I know. I mean, you're. I mean, everybody is looking for to be better and to improve and to be good and the human race is going to do this, that, and the other, and then several billion years down the road, the sun will explode and wipe it all out. So it's like, okay, so unless we all don Star Trek uniforms and populate the galaxy. So of course, and then we just carry on. How did we get here?
Well, you did promise that we would drink beer and talk about philosophy.
There you have it, folks. Boob ice cream, Star Trek, and being rebooted every night. You don't often get that on Simon no Chanama. Next week, you probably won't get that at all. Next week, at this time, I'll be eating mince pies at my parents' house. Well, no, I won't. What time is it now? It's 1:20. I shall be on the M42 heading to the M6 in England.
Are those highways?
Driving to those are highways. Driving to my parents. So there possibly maybe no Simon no Chanama show next Saturday, but I may try and get something happening on the Sunday. So possibly Sunday next week. I may do a live stream from England. Ty says he updates and reboots every second. He has that memory problem. He's like, hey, what? Where am I? Who am I? So next week.
So Simon, the real question Saturday, here is: can we get a live stream of the pies? Just the pies in the oven.
Yes, you may have a live stream of me eating mince pies and Christmas cake or something, or me going up a hill, depending on the weather. You're on time. I'm now thinking, Tomo-san, that you're out of the bath. I hope you're out of the bath.
Maybe that'll be your next special. We'll have the onsen trip.
Oh God, no. I'm not doing a live stream from my bathroom. No, sorry. Oh, I could. My parents' bathroom. No. I'm still in the bath. Oh, it's a Japanese thing. Yes, they sit there for hours. You get all wrinkly. Okay. To be honest, actually, it sounds awful, but I've not had a bath for about a year.
A year.
A year, yes. I think last time was at my parents.
Wow, I took one like.
I don't have a bath. I have a shower in my apartment.
Oh, well, yeah. So, if you don't have a bath, yeah, that's excusable.
I don't have a bath.
Whenever I get a headache, I set the bath to 60 C, and I turn the heater on, and I just try and raise my body temperature as much as I can, and usually it makes the headache go away.
Take a bath, Simon! Exclamation mark! I would love to take a nice, relaxing bath, but I don't have one. I just have. What?
Do your parents have a bath?
Well, my parents have a bath. So when I go to England,
there you go.
May the mediator from Finland hasn't had a bubble bath in years. Finland, though, they've got saunas and baths and things. You should be able to do that. No, wait a minute. Saunas in Finland, saunas. You know, the bath is like an ice cold lake outside the sauna. No, it's not relaxing at all. You're boiling.
And yeah, 60 C, by the way.
Good grief. So yes, you lose your headache because your brain is concentrating on the pain in the rest of your body.
It really gets your blood flowing.
Yes, and yeah, Anna says 60 degrees C ! Question mark. Yes, I can't do so. I can't do so. I did a sauna once. Never again. I just you're taking a bath every day.
My heart started to beat at a sauna.
Yes, it's just. I mean, you're putting yourself in extreme heat, and sat there sweating, and they're all supposed to sit there, sort of, smiling, and like in the photos in the magazines, like ladies with discreetly placed towels, all smiling and looking at magazines, and I sat there. There's like dumpy old men, very hot, and like, fuck.
Yeah, some of the guys in there, they're like crazy. They don't even notice the heat. They're just sitting there like, whatever.
Yeah.
And like, okay. All right. How much time?
Oh, even more information. Tom is wearing a face pack. Okay. I shall not be wearing a face pack or doing a live stream from my bathroom next week.
Yeah, that sounds like a great live stream for next week. Big old cucumbers in your eyes. Yeah. The whole 9 yards.
Oh dear. Imagine making the advert for that one. Oh dear. There probably won't be. I shall try and make an advert. This is one of my regular things now, making adverts for the show. It's about the only time this and making adverts is my entire YouTube experience. I mean, yes. Speaking of YouTube, just as we wind the show up, nothing to do with beer, philosophy, or ice cream. Can we expect? Because this is Shane. This is XenoLiving. Can we expect a video anytime soon, or have you kind of like thrown in the towel?
No, I've just been busy. When I was most active on YouTube is when I was unemployed, like I find a lot of my peers. But no, now that things have kind of settled down a little bit, I'll probably start uploading a little bit more often. Probably looking at, I'd say Q1 2019. Possibly Q2.
For those, yes, possibly Q2 2019. So, like, subscribe to Shane's channel and then wait for 6 months. You might get a video.
No. Yeah, we'll get starting up in the new year though. I need a bigger hard drive is the thing, because I shoot video and I come back and I have 20 gigs of video for one day's shoot. And I'm just like, Jesus, that's too much. Yeah, no, Tomo, you're great.
Yeah, I mean, Tomo. I mean, not necessarily in the bath, but I may be asking you to be a guest on the show at some point. So
not necessarily. So you're not necessarily ruling it out.
I'm not necessarily ruling out. We could Tomo and I could do a live show for each from in our bathrooms, live from Japan and live from England.
There's your thumbnail.
Oh dear. So, audience, you take away from this that philosophy does have a purpose. You don't necessarily have to consume beer or ice cream for it to be effective in your daily life, although it helps. But yes, the wheel of fortune may go up and it may go down. But even though there may not be such a thing as the self, and you die every night and are reborn, you stick to the core of yourself and don't worry too much about those outward changes, and be happy. And I shall see you next week. And I should like to thank Shane for tolerating my beer-soaked conversation. And I shall look forward, hopefully, next year to going to Japan again with a bit of luck and lots of overtime at work to cope with it. And see you next year, maybe, Shane, hopefully.
You're welcome anytime.
But for now, we have to say goodbye. And thank you for watching. And see you all, hopefully, next week. Thanks, folks. Bye-bye.
See you guys. It was a pleasure.